For my final project, I decided to take an in-depth look at Christopher Kit Carson and other frontiersmen like him. Kit Carson was born on Christmas Eve, 1809, and died on May 23, 1868. At a very young age, he set out west for land that had yet to be settled, like many others at the time. Many years later, at the beginning of the Civil War, a large portion of the army stationed in the American territories to facilitate settlement was recalled back east to fight the CSA. Many frontiersmen gladly volunteered to take their place after they left. These volunteers began massacring the Native Americans, showing no restraint, with the final goal of creating a population balance with a higher number of white settlers so that they could petition for statehood. Lincoln, while distracted by the war, chose to do nothing. This decision would set a precedent for the treatment of Native Americans in America that would last for decades. Many Americans at the time rose in status due to their violence towards the indigenous population, Carson included. The huge popularity of dime novels consisting of the fictitious recounts of Carson's life made him an icon. Statues, movies, and TV shows were created to glorify him, and his name eventually became synonymous with winning the West. Carson remained an American hero for over 100 years following his death, but during the late 1900s, public opinion began to change. The 1970 publication of Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee and other similar works that describe the cruelty shown to Native Americans made many people question the high regard Kit Carson was held at, and descriptions of Carson's actions towards the Navajo tribe further tarnished his reputation. Protesters began to demand the removal of Kit Carson-related landmarks all over the U.S. Many of his monuments were vandalized, and when the anger reached a fever pitch, some demonstrators threatened to desecrate his grave. The story of Kit Carson demonstrates the tendency for history to be biased, and how the retelling of biased history can manipulate public opinion. It is a prime example of American history bending the truth to put a spotlight on the good and cast away the bad of our nation. But it is also a story about finding the truth and finally reflecting on the rich history of indigenous peoples that refuse to be erased.